learn how to hit the ground in the right spot, and that will give you an idea of where you should focus when you're hitting a ball.
Okay, great. Welcome back to Lockstock FM, where we travel the world and meet with crazy people, entrepreneurs, provocateurs, and thought leaders from around the world. Today, we have Kerrod Gray in the house. Welcome to the show. From the tender age of 8, swinging clubs in his grandmother's garden to becoming one of the most sought-after PGA golf coaches. Kerrod's love for the game has only grown stronger. I hope that's true. And he's not just a coach, he's a mentor, innovator in golf instruction, and an inspiration to a lot of people around the world, including myself, because I love to watch him swing the golf ball and wish I can hit it the same. With a golfing coaching mantra that goes beyond the greens, Kerrod has a flair for making complex techniques accessible to everyone, from weekend warriors like myself to the elite on the PGA Tour, not like myself. His digital footprint is as impressive as his real-life impact, sharing his wisdom throughout engaging online content that's captured the attention of many golfers globally. In today's episode, we're going to dive into his life, who lives and breathes golf, but also got some other things we want to discuss as well today, like business and your other passions.
Sounds great.
So let's get into Lockstock FM. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Bali as well. It's not your first time, it's not your first radio here, but I know you arrived yesterday and already straight into it like a duck like water, I heard.
Exactly. As soon as we got out of the plane, dripping in sweat, straight into the pool, and as soon as you get out of the pool, and dripping in sweat again. So,
and where the cycle? Where did you come in from today or yesterday?
It flew in from Perth.
Okay, and that's where you're from, right? Australia.
Yeah. So I grew up partly most of the time in a place called Margaret, which is about 3 hours south in Perth in West Australia.
Okay.
But also grew up in New Zealand, Rarotonga, Tonga, Samoa, Tahiti, and a few otter places.
Okay. I've been to Australia only once. Mm-hmm. When I was a young boy, I must have been 10 years old. My dad took me out there for a month, and he made me write a journal every day at 10. And it was quite interesting to go about. I mean, obviously when I was doing it, I hated doing it, right? But my dad forced me to do it. And then now I've got it, read it occasionally. I'm like, wow, that's really intriguing to read. Like,
biggest makeup I've ever seen.
Yeah, crazy times. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself first. Introduce yourself to Lockstock FM and our guests, and give us a bit of your background.
Yeah, sure. I am a golf coach now by trade. Went through the ups and downs of professional golf. Started from when I was about 8 years old, as you said in that nice little rap sheet.
I do like that, by the way.
I feel like I should carry that around, just play that whenever I meet someone. Started when I was about 8 years old and had the dreams of being on the PGA Tour and making in that regard. But then realities of life kicked in and moved out of playing when I was about 25, went into coaching. And then since then, it's been a pursuit of, if I wasn't going to become the best player in the world I could be, I wanted to have the greatest amount of impact as a coach. And then so developing my skills through the technical components of coaching itself, but then also outside of that in the business realm and communications as well.
Okay, so when you were 8 years old, or during those ages, you picked up the golf clubs, were you inspired by parents or father or mother or anything like this? Or was it just something like, I want to be a golfer? What age did you realize this is what I want to do?
Well, I had a bit of an interesting upbringing. Like, my dad was a pro surfer before pro surfing was really a thing, and so before Red Bull and sponsors and everything like that.
For Instagram, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a roughneck and go around and do amateur surfing comps and did a couple of pro ones, but didn't really get paid. So my influence as a kid growing up was never based around real academics. It was always about finding something that you enjoyed doing and then pursue that with a full force. My mum was a hobby fashion designer. She was a nurse by trade, but never really applied herself in that. And she would make dresses out of shells and wearable arts. So having those influences growing up, as soon as I took an interest in something, it was more promoted to push towards passions and something that lit me up rather than academics.
Mm-hmm. Well, they do say that if you do what you love, the success actually comes off that. If you try to chase something for the end goal, which is sometimes money, it's very actually difficult to have the ability to get through the very difficult stages, which everyone will go through, certainly in any business. If you don't love what you're doing, it's very difficult just thinking about the end goal.
Yeah, correct.
So I guess that's
once you get that money, what happens then, right?
Yeah.
So, well,
I can tell you what happens. It's quite a lot of fun, but
and then so I was originally playing cricket, but in cricket, I'm assuming the majority of the audience here is Commonwealth or expanding out to other countries. Obviously, you need multiple people to play that. And I used to get a string, a sock, put a cricket ball in there, tie it up to the roof and just hit that over and over again. And I absolutely loved batting in the team.
Bowler or cricket or batter?
Batter.
Okay, what position were you what number were you normally? Opener or like?
Not great to continue playing after 8 years old.
Okay.
You know, we used to do the round robin and everyone got a fair go at everything.
Well, they used to play, I played wicketkeeper because I basically threw the ball like a girl. So it was the only place I could play. But I got quite good at wicketkeeping. So and then I was a batter and I just loved playing. But about 15, 16, it's just too much time.
When you got a wingspan of like 10 feet.
Yeah, it was hard to get me out. But after you get to like 16, 17, you like time gets smaller, you get interesting girls. It's like, and but I didn't pick up golf till much later. So it's really interesting to hear how you started and when you got through. So started golf around 8.
Yeah. So the reason I stopped playing cricket was because I was in the bush in the middle of nowhere, and
no one else to play with.
Pretty much. And we lived at the back of the golf course, and I used to go down with my dad at night. I used to do a little bit of let's call it like an adventure as such. Used to go down with a torch, and he used to steal balls out of the lake, and we're like, we're stealing off the rich people.
Yeah.
A little country course. It was like $80 to be a member there for a kid anyway. So it was certainly a middle-class everyman sport and still is in Australia. And then because of that, I just realized it's pretty similar to cricket, and I can hit this ball around. And
it's easy because the ball's not moving. But
well, in theory. Well, the good thing is that makes it hard, meaning I have a job, which is good. And then, pretty much around that time, I was over in New Zealand and started playing with my nana, and she got me into it. Golf courses in her backyard, pretty much, and kicked on from there.
Okay, so at what point did you decide I want to be a professional at this?
I didn't really have an option.
No, that was your way, right? I love this. This is how I'm going to make money.
Yeah,
because it's expensive.
Not that I made any money as a player.
No, I mean, being a pro is people don't realize it's really the creme de la creme at that top, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I didn't really have a moment where I thought, this is what I want to do. It was just as soon as I started playing, that was always my intention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and a lot of people possibly don't conceptualize this, but in most other pro sports, let's say it's baseball, basketball, team sport, maybe tennis is similar to golf. But for such a big sport like golf, you can be on the PGA Tour and essentially be one of the best players in the world. But if you don't make a cut, you're making zero money.
Mm.
And it's probably costing you, if you add up all expenses of travel, transport, accommodation, everything like that, you're probably spending $200,000 a year on the PGA Tour.
So that's all your traveling and the cost to enter the tournaments. You have to pay to enter it.
Yeah, exactly. And no one's paying for that.
Yeah.
Right. When you're in a team sport, you've got the club itself, the manager, everything else like that. It's all supported, and you get these big contract deals through the team.
Mm.
And hence, that's why Live has come to fruition, is because they're taking that franchise model and moving into golf, and it's been successful.
Yeah. We can go into Live later, actually, because that's something that I would really like to discuss. That was quite a hot topic in golf for quite a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So who was your first person that you looked at and say, he's one of the best golfers, that's who I want to play like?
Tiger Woods.
It was Tiger Woods, 100%.
I was fortunate enough to grow up in the era where he was on fire, and he was literally, his win rate was through the roof.
Yeah, phenomenal, really.
Yeah.
So it was.
I don't know exactly what it was, but there was that one year when you look at his roster of wins and pretty much everything he went in.
Which is not normal in golf, because you just can't perform to that level every single time, every single weekend. And it's just, you have sometimes when you're on, sometimes when you're off. It's just.
And the dude was just always on.
Yeah.
Always on. And I just remembered during that time as well, I was really into hip hop culture and everything like that. So I just loved everything about the American golf scene and Tiger Woods, and it was just a different perspective from the stodginess of golf that I suppose from an outsider's perspective coming in, especially from a small country town in Australia, is it just seemed so far away, like Pebble Beach and Tiger Woods, and it just seemed a world away. And I really liked that Tiger was coming in. He was just pretty much up.
He was from outside the clique, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Coming in, making big disruptions. And I can't really remember watching too much of him when I was a kid, because I played golf maybe 3 times before I was 30, maybe 4 times. And I remember one time there was a little 9-hole golf course I played with a couple of my friends during school time. I was 16, 17 or something, and my borrowed my stepdad's golf clubs, and I took a rather adventurous shot that was rather close to a tree and snapped the 7-iron in half. And I was maybe I wasn't 17 because I was borderline tears. I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Like, what? Yeah, okay, I'm not. I was 18. I was in tears, and after that, I was like, oh, I just can't. I can't. But it was very frustrating for me because I was playing a lot of sports at school. I wanted to be a football player. A lot of football players are normally quite good at golf, but I just couldn't do it. And I was like, no, I can't do it. Get it. Take too much of my time. So
why did you find it frustrating?
Well,
if you can remember back, if you've got that,
well, I mean, I still find it frustrating for the same reason now because I'm not as good as I think I should be.
Yeah,
but that's the same thing as most of the things I do. I have this kind of elevated idea of my greatness, which doesn't seem to match my actual performance. The old
unrelenting standard.
Yeah. So I always feel I've got the capability to do stuff, but it's my mindset is off sometimes, and I'm not always focused on what I want to do, and I've got a bit of a temper, which is we can talk about that in our golf lesson later on.
You've been through 6 sets of golf clubs this year just because they end up in halves.
Mate, well, I have my friends call me Tomahawk Terry. Yeah, because I can throw my driver the furthest straight down the middle of the fairway, like every time, just straight down the middle, like 100%. It's like better than my drive, 70 yards, 80 yards. This is amazing.
So when was in Dubai and we played 8 holes together, I didn't get to see that.
No. Well, what happens is when you're playing with people you don't know, you're much more behaved.
Okay.
It's when you're playing with your best mates, you're like, everything comes off the thing. And we have one championship which we play every year called the SBC Classic. So it's a sandbagging C word.
Right.
And the idea of the competition is the winner is the biggest sandbagging of the year. But it gets very emotional. Like, you'd be surprised how much this competition means to like my 5 friends that play in it every year. And that we joke that we need like an SBC survival kit, like a pair of blinders, like a headphones, so people stop talking to me. And like by the end of it, last year I think I only played 9 of the 2 rounds we played. The second round I only played 9 because I was so angry. I refused to play for them. I still came second there. Yeah, so it's quite crazy. But yeah, I think the scoring points, if you've got a stable for scoring points, most people that are winning it in this SPC are getting like 20 points because the emotions between the players is so high because we're such good friends, so much history and stuff going on. It's very difficult.
Is this where you can be strategic, seeing as you don't drink, and you just take them out for a huge night every night and just get them hungover as they can in the morning?
Yeah, but they play better when they're hungover because people don't care so much. Okay. I feel like I'm like all strung and I'm like, I'm ready to go, I'm going to win. Expectations too high and it just goes out of control. But yeah, so from your turning into a pro, so let's talk through that process. So at what point in your golfing did you get good enough to realize, okay, I might have a shot at this. This is what, because you must have gone through that, right, to decide to become a pro. What stage was that?
So it naturally happens through osmosis, really, when you go through the system. It's developed a lot more now. So there's set levels and you get X opportunities when you get to these levels. So for example, let's say you're one of the best juniors in the state, you join the junior state team, and then you would join the amateur state team. So you represent your Western Australia playing Queensland. Is
this generic in all the different countries? So you've got one in Australia as opposed to
it would be county versus county or state versus state, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then from there, essentially in the world of golf, you can turn professional really when you shoot around 72 on average, so palm of the golf course. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of ways to do it. You can either go to tour school, so all the golfers around the world that are looking to play on a golf tour, so let's say the Australian tour or European, wherever it is, they go to this big qualifying event. And that's one way. And if you get through, then you can call yourself a professional golfer. And the other way would be that you do your PGA traineeship, which is different in a lot of countries, but the UK and Australia is similar. You do 3 years of study and you do biomechanics, psychology, business. You learn essentially everything revolved around working in the golf industry, as well as obviously playing at the same time. So you got to maintain a simple playing.
What kind of amount of that is in the golf? So your golfing skill, let's say, and then let's say the business side of golf, is there quite a large amount?
When you're doing the studies?
Well, actually, so you're doing the studies, you learn about how golfing works as a business.
Yeah.
And then when you become a player, are you involved in that business at all? Or is it like...
No, so what the PGA traineeship allows you to be called as a PGA professional. So that would be different from like a PGA Tour player.
So that gives you the ability to be able to coach as well.
Correct. Yeah. And everything that goes alongside it in regards to insurances and that sort of thing. In Australia, you can't really teach golf unless you're a PGA pro. So everyone who teaches golf in Australia,
Yep.
99.9% has done a 3-year course where they get certified to coach.
Okay.
A lot of places.
Which you've done in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. And what age was that you were doing that?
I did that from 19 to 22, mainly because I needed a way to make money while I was considering pursuing.
Okay. So, and is that kind of unless someone got maybe from a wealthy family or if they've got money already, they would normally pursue this kind of dual aspect of their career where they spend half their time generating revenue from teaching people and then the other half of the time practicing, playing golf.
Correct.
And do you think that puts you at a disadvantage?
I would say it's all relative to the individual because it does set you up for success in a lot of other areas later on in life. Because in reality, not everyone, even if you aspire to become a professional golfer, is going to reach those heights. But it really assists you in generating the good soft skills of like time management, making sure that when you are practicing, if you're really serious about it, you're practicing the right way with the right structure and so on and so forth. Does it put you at a disadvantage to go out there when you're in your prime young years, 19, 20, 21, to go and play on a tour? Yeah, I would say so.
So if I was to say to you, okay, Kerrod, you can do that whole life again, but someone's paying for everything, you don't need to do your work, you think that would have made quite a difference in your success?
At the time, I would have said yes.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight now, I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't have developed the skills or be able to...
Yeah. I guess it was still giving you a better chance to be the PGA pro, but it might not have worked out. But what you've got now is a network, which we'll talk about in the show, of like how you're running your YouTube channels and doing your coaching and your app and stuff like that.
I think in hindsight, it definitely gives you more opportunities, and that's what it's all about. Like being in Australia is a disadvantage because geographically it's so far away from the rest of the world, but then also the monetary side of it, it's just so expensive. Like I was plastering, working for my mate over there, landscaping, everything in between to make enough money to then get to the next event. And it's challenging if you're coming from a position where you're bankrolling yourself, because when you go and step up on that first tee, you're thinking about, if I don't play well in this event, if I don't make the cut, if I don't get my card, I have to go back and landscape. And
that adds a lot to the pressure.
Yeah.
So every time you think, so when you're over the ball, you're trying to clear that thought in your head, if I don't make this shot, I've got to go do some landscaping. Is that something that a thought that sometimes might cost you? Like, oh, that's quite difficult. What I'm thinking about over the shot is how much it's going to cost me to buy a new ball. Because I only play with brand new Pro V1s. So I know it's £4. Yeah, goodbye every time. I lose about at least 12 balls around.
Yeah, you had a good little run on the first 9 holes that we played together.
Yeah, I have a hot streak. So if I come on hot, I can play good. I can shoot under par. If I come on hot, but I just can't do hot streak for 18 holes.
I know.
So it's really difficult. Okay, so let's talk about the PGA golf coaching that you do. You're still a PGA golf coach, yep. So how does your day look like? So I know you're traveling a lot. We met in Dubai at my golf club, Dubai Hills, where we had a little kind of, was it the Open or so? It was some kind of funny tournament that we had.
It was a Pro-Am.
Oh, yes, it was the Pro-Am, yeah.
Pro-Am for, I think it was the inter-club competition between all the pros from the Montgomery, Dubai Hills.
Yeah.
Well, we were.
Yeah, and we got teamed up with our friend Darren and we played. Yeah. Yeah. So what does your day-to-day look like then with regards to coaching individuals? Are you doing one-on-one with people, or are you just doing the group stuff with apps and things like this?
So it's evolved a lot from when I was 25, and then I sought out to go and try and create a big in-person academy. And then got to a point where I built up my business, and then I was doing probably max 50 hours a week of in-person coaching in some stages.
Is that in person? So you're actually next to the person teaching?
That's what I used to do, yeah.
Yeah, and you had a studio, you did that, or you did that?
In Joondalup Resort in Western Australia. So I'm still the director of instruction there at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just not there very often.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, and when I just came to the realization that it was pretty much epitomized what I could achieve within the in-person component, especially in the market in Australia.
There's a ceiling, isn't it?
The ceiling, especially with earning potential compared to the States or something like that.
Yep.
And then also, I was just got to this point where I realized that the world of golf is in America, both in your potential to scale your reputation, your business, your income, and everything like that. And I really wanted to go down from a personal standpoint of developing the on-camera skills to improve my communication, so I could then create passive revenue and multiple revenue streams through the use of coaching. And the way of that was producing content. That's how I started YouTube.
Yep.
So now my full-time job is promotion of my app and my coaching services through YouTube and social media and content creation. So I have spent pretty much the last 2 years traveling around the world, pretty much nonstop, going and doing golf coach collaboration videos with some of the best golf coaches in the world, content for my YouTube channel, while also creating Instagram content and that sort of thing as well.
I've seen a few of your posts of you dragging your golf clubs along the streets of London and then on to your next bus with all your all your belongings in this one bag. And where am I going next?
Everything. Sold everything up. And if you can picture a big golf travel bag, which looks like a body bag, to be honest, and get some weird, funny looks and comments when I'm traveling, it's got my golf clubs on one side, which is probably 15 to 18 kilos, my camera gear. And then the other side of the bag is my clothes vacuum sealed up, and that's all I have.
Which camera gear are you using?
So I've got a Sony EV10.
That's the small one, right? Is it all that the smaller one?
Yep. So you've got the V1, which is the smallest one, the EV10, which is still full frame, and you've got the adjustable lenses and stuff like that. This mic, and then I've got a Sony AS2 as well. So I've got two cameras.
We talked about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, didn't we? We're both low. I'm loving that camera. Cannot wait to get it.
I can't wait, like the facial tracking stuff, and also in terms of just the stability and control. And now that you can color grade it, it's just
this is like this is the techie side. I mean, I love doing stuff like that. Part of the reason why I shoot this podcast is I like to make content. I'll edit it a bit, do a little color. Even though I don't really know how to do it, I just kind of make it up as I go along. Chat GPT, learn how to do it if I don't know, and then make it up on the next bit. Okay, so we talked a little bit about your daily stuff. A lot of the things you're doing is online promotion to drive a funnel of people into your coaching program.
Correct.
Which you drive through. You've got one specific platform, which is your app, which is called Perform Golf. So I had a little look at it. I didn't sign up yet, but I'm thinking about it. It takes a lot to get the $20 out of me, so I'm thinking earlier. So tell me why a golfer would use this and what the benefits are to that, and how someone like me would benefit from that access. Does that access include direct conversation with you and stuff like that? So it's all obviously all remote, but a lot of that stuff can be done with video cameras and stuff like that, right? So how would that work?
Great question. So very similar if you imagine Googling a health problem, right? We look for what we want to find. And
I see a meme for that. You Google health problem. I've got this cancer. You've got cancer.
Yeah. And we tend to catastrophize, right? We're always like on this seesaw of the best and worst of everything. So what happens is you'll find a lot of players will go to YouTube, and even though it's a main marketing tool for my business, people pay for two things: curation and accountability. And in terms of the YouTube content, you don't have either of those. No one's keeping you accountable to make sure that you're following through with that YouTube video. And the curation is not there purely because it's sporadic. It's like, I want to YouTube the grip. And I think it's the grip because my buddy who shoots 2 shots better than me, but is shooting 99, not 101, said that my left-hand grip might be slightly off. So now I've gone down this rabbit hole of 50 grip videos, and I think that is the golden ticket to success. And I can see you laughing because you do it, but we all do it. And that's the reason why is you may as well give everything away for free in terms of content creation and being a creator that's selling something, because at the end of the day, nothing will replace the accountability you get from taking ownership over your development. And that will be through, let's say, the purchase of an app, because now you know that you're contributing or you're attributing some of your finances to apply yourself. But then also within the app, there is a curated list of drills and exercises relative to the individual components of your swing that you might need to work on. So you've got your courses like your short game courses, your chipping, your bunkers, your putting, but then faults and fixes library for swaying and certain setup issues and so on and so forth. So my objective is to make this as comprehensive as I possibly can, doing it all myself as well. So I've hired as I've gone, keeping it lean and making sure that I'm trying to stay in this game as long as I can and put the necessary resources in at the right time to make sure the app itself is as helpful to golfers as possible.
Okay, so talking about this app, Perform Golf, let's talk about the business aspects of it. How tied is your personality to this app? So let's say Kerrod Gray doesn't exist. Can this app still provide value to people, or is it quite tied to you as a personality in there?
Well, it can always, from where it is at the moment, expand outside of myself, hence why it's called Perform Golf and not Kerrod Gray Golf. I have Cam Smith's ex-personal performance trainer on there, and he does all the fitness videos for the app. I'm going to get a yoga teacher on there to do the apps, the golf component.
Going to be hot or not?
Of course. Yeah. And the golf component.
I've got a few I can recommend.
Yeah, great.
Personal recommendation.
I'll trade him golf lessons.
Yeah.
The golf coaching side of it is definitely going to be myself, because I think it's so important nowadays when we look at the buying habits of people. They buy them off of personality and from someone. And we get so used to seeing these generic commercial ads, and now obviously everything is chat GPT'd, and it loses a lot of the authentic voice and where people feel like they're connected to someone who's putting out the content.
The reason I asked that is because for me, golf is obviously a big hobby and love of mine. I spend at least probably 10 to 15 hours a week playing golf or swinging a golf club or going to golf. Of my time is around golf. And if you'd asked me last year, it would have been more like 40 hours a week. I was playing all the time. And what I do know from playing it and doing a little YouTube channel myself, I told you I had one called Skins Golf TV, and I really enjoyed doing
Great someone there you got to go check out.
Golf Tourette's, baby. Wrote the theme tune, sung the theme tune, did everything. Like an absolute legend.
So kids out of the room.
Yeah. I did this golf thing with my friend Rob, who maybe you'll meet him tonight, he might come out. And I really enjoyed the content creation. It was great, but it was a lot of work. Like to do that, like half an hour video every week, to make sure you're doing it on every week. What I'm doing next week, what I'm doing that, you're having all the scheduled content. You've got to come up with your ideas. You've got to go out, you've got to shoot in the sun. You've got to edit the videos. You've got to put, and people just don't, all they see is this nice little pretty video, and they've got absolutely no idea how much time goes in. Until you do it, you just don't know. But the reason I ask about your app is because what I saw from the YouTube videos is that it's one of the highest click CPMs on YouTube. Is people watching golf are people that have got money and that are committed to golf and are prepared to spend money. So the people who are watching these videos, they are likely to click through on an ad that's related to golf, and they're likely to buy something. So the advertisers are paying a lot more for the money. So not only have you got a really good revenue source on YouTube, but you also have the industry. You have a large amount of middle-aged men that are going to spend money pursuing a hobby they're never going to get good at, basically, which is quite but we love it. There's something fucked up about it. We just love it. So when I ask about your app, I always look at business and I think, right, how can this business be scaled? Can it get larger than just me? Because if it's just me, I only have a limited amount of time. So when I was on your app and I asked that question, I was thinking, well, if you could build a platform that enabled multiple coaches to come in and use your platform to build their own businesses. So instead of you just having Perform Golf for Kerrod Gray, what you actually build is Perform Golf, but it's for any golf coach that wants to build their own app. And therefore they can white label it each time, and you're sitting at the top earning revenue from 100 golf coaches around the world that all use exactly the same methods that you've worked the last 10 years on to make them fucking good.
Correct.
So they come in and they pay you whatever it is, 10% of their revenue, and you start to be able to scale a big business that enables you to generate large amounts of revenue. Now that's because I enjoy making money. And then I want to play golf. I don't know what your aspirations are for the app, or what you because a lot of it is also around lifestyle. I do a lot of things where maybe I make a little bit of money doing, like this podcast, for instance. I don't expect to make any money off it. I don't really want to make it. Maybe it'd be nice if someone puts an advert for a Red Bull can on there. Okay, cool, whatever. Yeah, but I'm doing this because I love doing it. There's a chance it's like a lifestyle. And obviously there's the balance between your business and lifestyle, how much you cross over, what your aspirations are for earning, what your aspirations are for enjoying life. So it's just interesting to know where you're at with Perform Golf, and if that's something you were
Yeah,
looking at?
definitely. So there is multiple apps out there at the moment that do a very similar thing.
Yeah.
I take a great sense of pride and, let's say, long-term fulfillment out of producing the content that I do at the moment. And I really like the process of putting it out there and having my name to attach, because at the end of the day, for me, I want to leave an impact on the industry where I know my golf coaching content is going to be evergreen, and people for years and years to come can find that content in and within a platform. Now, once it's all established and fully built out as well as it possibly can, and then looking to expand out into other avenues, sure. But my focus at the moment is more so just doing the best I can with what I've got and the way that I'm pushing it forward. And then expansion in the future is always there.
How much of the content you constantly updating stuff on there? So for instance, if I'm a client of yours, I'll watch all the content library and then I'll say, oh, I think this is my idea, or I will send you a video on the app and you'll say, well, these are the ones you should focus on. Yeah. And then will you then look at my video and say, okay, focus on that, but then also here's a custom curated video for you, which I'll do. Okay.
So within the app, there's a curated list of videos. There's like 600 plus on there at the moment, but then there's also the option to buy a personalized swing analysis as well. So you'll get a multiple series of videos from within the app that you should work on, but you also get a 10-minute voiceover analysis of your golf swing from face on down the line, using comparison videos with certain models that would work well for you, giving you a very good depiction of exactly what you need to do in your swing at that moment to improve. So, for example, before here, I did 3 of those this afternoon.
Oh, wow. So you've got it all on your laptop. You can just do it right there. Yeah. So during your day, you're spending a couple of hours a day doing those kind of maintenance. Okay. Wow. That's cool. And so of all the people that you're seeing all the time, how much are you, what's the most, are you repeating like one particular common thing? Is there one that stands out above everything, or is it dependent on like the level of person you're talking with?
Is this in terms of the players and what they?
Yeah. So out of all your clients you've got on there, what's the most common thing that you say to someone about their swing?
Yeah. So I think as humans love the sexy stuff, right? And there's certain clickbaity words and terms thrown around in golf, like shallowing and getting open impact, and all these like really beautiful things that you see pros talk about, getting certain wrist angles. But at the end of the day, most players would save themselves $100 just from going through a setup video and learning how to hold the golf club correctly. Because a lot of the compensations that players make throughout their swing is due to an incorrect connection with the golf club in their hands. So if I'm gripping a hammer all the way up the palm like this, well, I can't hinge my wrist correctly to create a powerful impact. So instead of trying to then make some matchups or compensations with this incorrect placement of the hammer in my hand and trying to do something awkward, I can just hold the hammer better, and then all of a sudden the function will improve. So in golf, because it is our one point of connection with the club, we need to ensure that we have our hands positioned in such a way that can allow the golf club to actually work correctly. And most players, it's not even about placement, it's a tension, right? They don't hold the golf club tight enough, and then they have too much tension through their arms and their upper body, which is almost like locking out your arm, holding a hammer incorrectly, and then trying to bang a nail into a piece of wood.
I'm glad you said that, because of the people that come to my villa, normally young, pretty girls that I like to teach, pretend that I can teach them how to play golf.
Okay.
The first thing I tell them is, you can't, the first thing to do is get your position right. Yeah. That's the first bit of the swing that doesn't move, right? So you've got to get in that. I mean, they never get in, right? Because I'm terrible at it. Whatever. That's. I'm glad that I know that. So
just keep talking until something eventually seems like it makes sense.
Or I say,
you'll get there.
Or I say, the most important thing is to look good. Doesn't matter about it. Make sure that's it. So whenever I turn up to golf, make sure you're looking like, looking the job, looking like.
I want to see the DJ Spano school.
People say I look a bit like Justin Rose. You notice that? I'm like, yeah. Until I swing, and then it's and then it's completely. So let's talk about some career highlights and ups and downs and challenges that you've got. So as a coach, what's your most memorable moment? What's your your biggest success? What are you most proud of, or this kind of thing? Apart from obviously watching me.
And that definitely creates a whole new level right there. I would say my probably greatest point of satisfaction in my career was being able to teach at a place called Pebble Beach in America. And growing up, I remember watching Tiger Woods win the US Open there by 1 million shots in 2000. And I remember watching him winning at Pebble Beach and just thinking that is an amazing golf course. Tiger was this coolest guy. It's in America. It seems so far away. And from the moment I decided I wanted to become a coach, I just set out this, we'll call it like a genie list of things I wanted to achieve in life, right? And I achieved all of them a lot faster than I thought I would. And I had a lot of 3-year, 5-year goals that I achieved in 2 years. But then on the path and journey to do that, I got the job as the director of instruction for the whole of the US sport camps, coaching at Pebble Beach Golf Course at the academy. So I've got that job on an ongoing contract every year.
Oh, nice. So I assume you get to play there.
I've actually never played there.
Oh, really? So that must be a bucket list that's...
I would never want to do it in a coaching capacity.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do it with a bunch of mates and just go there and have a really good time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other golf courses around Pebble Beach in the same area that are owned by the Pebble Beach Resort Company, like Spyglass and Spanish Bay, and they're on
I think I've got a couple of them on the sim.
Yeah, amazing.
We'll whack a few great later on. So for those of you that are watching this podcast, we've got a little golf sim competition going on after this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show Kerrod how to...
You're going to throw it down the field.
I'm going to show how to throw a golf. Yeah. And so what about challenges? Let's talk about some of the difficult times. So playing has been, because you feel like you haven't got where you want to be, or because it's just each time you play, or because what is it that...
No, plenty of challenges. Playing in hindsight, I look back at the type of golfer I was. I never really had the right concoction of skills to make it. I hit a short and wide, which is not going to win you any money.
Well, I've seen you pump drives now. So what changed then?
I began to...
You were showing off your 130 mile an hour swing speed the other day when you were lying on the floor dead afterwards.
Correct. And when I was younger, I couldn't, for the life of me, hit it past 30 meters.
Yeah.
And it was crooked all the time. And it was just through poor technique. And I never really had quality coaching growing up. I did around playing the game, but not swing coaching.
So what changed then? How did you know how to get the correct swing and then teach it if no one taught you? What was it?
I taught myself how to teach.
So by learning how to teach, you also learned a lot yourself about the...
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So you got
and then I was pretty much swing fix myself. And on this journey of going around the world and doing collaboration videos with other YouTube coaches, you're always talking about the golf swing in different models.
Everyone's got their own idea about how it should be, right?
Yeah, it's more so those preferences aren't as prevalent as it used to be, because the best coaches in the world, you're still using factual-based content to make decisions around what needs to happen. Whereas before biomechanics and 3D and TrackMan and everything like that, it was very much so, I see this player do this, everyone should do it. Why? Well, because. But there was no actual factual, this is because you need to do it, because the golf club is designed to work in this way. So I just geeked out like you wouldn't believe and consumed everything there is to pretty much consume on the internet during that period of time of learning how to coach, and still continue to, of trying to build my knowledge bases as much as possible to get a really good understanding of the golf swing. And I'm confident I can fix anything.
So what was your, let's touch it on, what was your, something like the darkest moments you've had during your golf career? When you thought, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to play golf anymore. Have you got to that point?
Yeah. When I my last event that I played was in Papua New Guinea, and
the last event as a pro before last event.
It was when I was like tour player. Yeah, playing mode when I was 25. So I still play.
How old are you now?
33.
Okay.
I still play events occasionally, but it's not my focus.
Yeah.
And this is when I was still giving it a really good crack. And I just had hardly any money. I was in between landscaping in that period of time, spent all my money to get to this event in Papua New Guinea. It's really not a great place to spend that much time in, to be honest. It's very dangerous, kind of locked up. And then I didn't play that good. I think I lost another $1,000 or something from going up there. And then I got back and just had to have the realization that I just wasn't going to play anymore.
Was it brutal?
Yeah, it was brutal. Yeah.
Was it a relief though?
At the time, it was an identity crisis. Yeah, massively. And then
you feel like the pressure from all your friends and your peer group. You say, look, guys, I'm not gonna make it as a player. I want to swivel. Or was it just completely for yourself? Or
yeah, that's a great question. I would say definitely within myself, but I probably by the time that I made the decision, I'd probably outwardly said that I was going to do it maybe a year before, and I was going to transition to coaching because I always had that coaching component.
So do you think during that year you kind of started to accept it a little bit more, and maybe you weren't putting as much effort into it as maybe during that time, and then the final nail in the head came at that point in Papua New Guinea, and you were like...
And I was driving to the airport, the final event that I played, 4 a.m, there was 2 corrupt army men. They have this thing called betel nut in Papua New Guinea, and it's like a nut that they chew and they mix it with something, and it's hallucinogenic, and it gives this like...
Did you have that?
Yeah. They were holding this chain across the road. They were on betel nut because they have this like red stained teeth and all this, it looks like blood coming down. It's nasty. Yeah, took us down this side road. Another army truck pulled up, got guns out, tapped all the way on either side of the car, got us out, obviously just looking for a bribe. But at that point in time, I had to pay out like $100 and something, and that was all I had. And it nearly cost me getting onto the plane to get home. And I just knew that, and that was it. It was totally done by that stage. And then got back and went into coaching. And I would say the ups and downs, I don't really see them as bad moments. They all create a great story. Like, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I have no issues, right? And so it's all been necessary to get me to where I am today.
Do you feel like you play better golf now than you did then? I mean, obviously you're hitting it further. So ever thought have another crack at it or not? Or tempted?
My passions in life have shifted a lot more towards business.
Being a pro golfer is lonely, isn't it? I can imagine.
Exactly. Even to be honest, what I do now is very lonely as well, traveling all the time. But it's...
You didn't look lonely last night. I think the boys were loving it on that in the party.
Time and place. But it's certainly one of those things that I still love playing in the events and competitiveness.
Yeah.
And I could go out and easily shoot par or under par. Yeah. But there's a big difference between doing that and then, let's say, you go play a PGA Tour event where golf course is set up hard and you just don't have the reps under your belt.
People really don't understand that, do they? First of all, they put the tees all the way at the back. Then they put the greens are all a lot faster.
This thicker.
Yeah, and you can't just use a little footwedge and knock you into a bad position. Or I'll just take a drop on that one. And every flagpole's in like a nasty place, right? And it adds like 10, 15, 20 shots to like an all golfer score.
I did a study of it, and I think so for all the golfers out there, if you got your average PGA professional go play at a public golf course, that's on the tour, they'll probably shoot the low 60s. Yeah, that would convert to probably a 72 or just a little bit under par on a PGA Tour course.
Yeah.
So even though it's the same 18 holes, maybe the same length, just the way that they set it up makes it exponentially.
Yeah, because so people kind of don't understand how much better these players are.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. And they're so, I don't really like to use the word, but they're so consistent with how they rock up each and every week and the quality of their ball striking. And
I mean, I'm sure they've all got personal stuff going on in their life. They've got to deal with like crazy girlfriends or wives or whatever and kids and whatever. I mean, I'm sure they don't have money issues, but if they're in the pro, they've obviously made a bit of money already, haven't they?
Yeah.
But they've definitely got other stuff going on. Okay, so let's come back a little bit to the golf content, because I asked you yesterday about some of the other YouTubers, and you told me, my focus is not really to create the content for entertainment, but content to enable to teach people. And I mentioned a couple of YouTubers, and you were like, well, they're amazing entertainment, but my focus is on the coaching. So who are your favorite YouTubers for golf?
My mates that I've done content with on my channel. So the ones that have done a really good job of staying in the instruction lane, I would say.
What were they?
Colgan.
Right.
Me and my golf do a really good job.
Oh, I've seen you on those. I've seen you on there because I used to watch. I watched a few of their content. Yeah, those guys are good.
Yeah. Chris Ryan. And the thing that I really value about these guys here is that they've stayed really true. Nothing. Not that there's anything wrong with going down the entertainment lane, but you're always trend jacking if you're on entertainment. It's like the Costco golf clubs were a big thing, and then the golf club's a big thing. But as soon as that video is put out and has its initial wave of views, well, it's useless content taking up space forever, because that right there is not going to be, especially if it's around a product or something like that, it's always going to get superseded. But forever and a day, people will be searching golf instruction. There's evergreen content. So
I've got one evergreen video. It's called, I think it's How Not to Play Golf or something like this, or something like that. And we had it with a cute Korean golfer girl who was learning golf. It's got 100,000 views on it. And I'm like, get in there, mate.
Title or the woman that got 100,000?
I don't know. Well, obviously me being brilliant.
Sorry, I should add that one in.
She was pretty. She was good. But we did a couple of those funny videos. And obviously my golf Tourette's video was quite epic. Okay, and then your social media stuff. Are you doing all of this yourself?
The majority of it, I have now got a guy that, as I've been making money online through YouTube, I don't see that money as like, that's money that is giving me a livelihood. I just reinvest that money straight into the business. So all my YouTube editing. So I've got 2 video editors at the moment. I've got one that does my long form and one that I've just hired to do my short form.
Yep.
I've got a guy over in Melbourne who's like a digital marketing whiz, and he's doing all my, let's say, email marketing and automations. And then on top of that, I just hired another guy, an Aussie guy who lives in Thailand, and he's now doing all my SEO for all my YouTube content, and he's going to take over a few other roles like that.
So you're like your social media stuff like that, you're just doing all those posts, your stuff from the short form content, you're like turning it onto your...
So it's a big content repurposing machine, and it's been quite a journey in the past 2 years with the app, trying to figure out how do I automate as much as possible where I don't lose my voice and my individuality, but ensure that I've still got time on my hands.
Sure. Well, automation is a big part of the business, isn't it?
Correct.
You really can speed up a lot of your process because all the little moving files, clicking this, creating you a folder, doing all of that. Once you can get that into a real neat process using Zapier or some of the other tools, it's just, it actually makes you feel, oh, wow. I'm like, it's just very enjoyable. I kind of enjoy setting those kind of things up.
You were using Notion for this podcast, and I use ClickUp in my business, and using all the automations, and as soon as one person makes an adjustment and says that the title's ready on this, the other people get notified. Now that short form editor knows to move on to the next project, and that takes a lot of time to set up. And it has taken an extreme amount of like thought process and energy for something that doesn't...
we have to learn the process first. You have to do it all manually first and then figure out what can be. So it definitely takes time and understanding the business of what you're doing.
There's a question for you, and I find this within my own business, is that it's very valuable to know how to do all these skills yourself. So then when you hire someone to do it, you're not getting rorted for the price because of some freelancers do that. And then B, it's also, if they leave or they need to go, you can then train the next person really easy, and it's not completely lost. So if the microphone dies, you don't just sit there and go, oh my God, what do I do? Because my assistant's not here.
Are you going to ask me if that's the right way to do business, you think?
No, I'm asking it's like,
how do I do it?
Do you find that's a valuable skill?
To be able to do everything and understanding everything.
When you first are getting an idea about something.
Pretty much everything that I've done up until a few years, or maybe last year, I've always had my hands dirty on everything. So I know how to do all the things. Even I'm doing things like this where I know how to do the editing. I know the settings on the camera. I'm shooting an S-Log3. I know to add a LUT afterwards. I know the different color grade and stuff. That's because I kind of enjoy it, and I'm a bit of a megalomaniac. I want to understand everything. And even when I was building my first business, the data center companies, I was plugging in the servers. I was installing Linux on them. I was setting up the routers. I was doing the router tables. Because I wanted to know. I really enjoyed it. And yes, that definitely did add to the certainly the relationship with the people that are working for you, because I know they know that I know how to do it. They might get more proficient at it and get better at it because I'm hiring someone to replace that job. And certainly for the first half of my life, that's kind of how I've done everything. But more recently, I have begun to delegate responsibilities quicker. And I have found that it takes a lot of mind power off so it frees up a lot of my mind, because I don't need to think about how that's done. Doing this podcast now, I'm thinking about it because I'm recording all the bits. So I've had to spend an hour making sure it's all right, do all the bits and bobs. No, of course I can pay someone to do it, but if I don't even need to think about that, So I know the person's competent enough to do it, and I've hired them as that's your specific job. Make sure I have a video. And I don't give them any other specifics like shoot in this and do this. I just turn up and shoot the video. As long as you have the right person, obviously, it frees up a lot of energy inside of me. No, a lot. And I've noticed that in the last 6 to 12 months as I've started doing some larger projects. I've got a big project going on in Uganda. I've got one, a nightclub we're going to be doing in Shanghai. Sorry, not Shanghai, from Shanghai, but we're doing it in Dubai. And I've hired certain people and I've just given them the responsibilities to do it. And I kind of feel like a little light bulb moment has kind of come off, because it's enabled me to really just have more clarity in my head. And not all I worry about is like them giving me the end product. Obviously, there's a risk involved, because if they don't give me the end product, I then got to go and find someone else.
You're going to trust in your hiring process.
You have to trust in the hiring process for a start, and and if you get something wrong, you're going to have to find someone else. But a lot of these businesses you're building, the biggest issue is actually the people. Hiring the right person, keeping that right person motivated, understanding what their requirements are, and empathy for them. But I feel like that's kind of one of my good things, is I'm very good at inspiring people and sharing with them my vision. And my idea is always just focus on the vision. What's the end goal? What's where I want it to be? How's this? And then share that with people and hire the right people underneath it. And I think going forward, that's going to be my more focus on my mantra, as opposed to...
Was it difficult to let go of the control?
Massively, yeah, because I'm a megalomaniac. I want to know everything. I want to learn how to do all stuff and enjoy. And I still will learn how to do bits and bobs, like when I have free time. But obviously, as you're doing more business and getting bigger things are being involved, time is just so small. I just don't have the time to do those things. And if I do have spare time, I would like to go and play golf, or do my gym workout, or whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely shifting towards more delegation and proper delegation, where you give someone the responsibility to deliver the end part of their role, as opposed to meddling and getting involved in how they're doing it and what they're doing it. It's definitely something that I would start to think about doing if that's what you're thinking.
Oh yeah, well it's been a huge weight off my shoulders just with the video editing, and because I'm the same, I'm creative. I love doing all the ins and outs of everything to do with the creative side of the business. But what moves the needle in my business is creating the content. It's not spending 10 hours changing the font on my website, even though I left that. So
and take that long.
So then getting these people, letting go of that control at first was a little bit challenging, but then once you train someone up to do it with the way that you like, and I think sometimes it's difficult to feel like they're going to get it because you have such an eye for detail and attention for detail, but people surprise you and they learn quick, and all my staff now do a really good job.
Yeah, I find that if you give people that responsibility, say, give me the end product, they do take a little bit more pride in making sure it's delivered well. Let's move on to stuff outside of golf, business, personal interests. And do you love anything but golf? Tell us something else about you. What are some of your other hobbies? I know from myself or many other people, once you pick golf as your hobby, that you don't have anything else. That's it. And people just don't understand that unless they're a golfer. Yeah. But what happens if your business is golf? What's outside of that?
Yeah, golf is certainly what I do, but it's not all encompassing in my life. Yeah, I love the business component, and golf is just my avenue, right? I suppose I'm very lucky that I found my ikigai and I can make money off it. I feel like I'm having an impact. It's very rewarding. I get a sense of achievement from doing that, and the world needs it. And I built a career out of it. That's why I love what I do. So I would tend to say that I do work probably a lot relative to what most people would consider a normal work week. But my interests outside of that are usually something which makes me present. So that would be surfing.
Right. Oh, you're a surfer. Okay. Oh, because your dad was a surfer.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that I won a surf competition once when I was 10 years old.
On PC?
No, I was in real life bodyboarding in Polzeath in England, Cornwall.
Oh, geez.
Fucking freezing cold out there. Yeah, fucking bodyboarding. I had no idea what I was doing. I think I came down, it's a place called Surf to Save. It was a yearly competition that was like a charity thing because they were putting a lot of pollution into the sea. So they were trying to, it was run by my dad's friend. It became a big festival every year. It was a brilliant thing. And I paddled out whatever I was doing, and you had the flippers on. It was a bodyboard, right? And I came down this wave, and I kind of somehow stood up on this bodyboard, and they were like, "What the fuck?" And it accidentally spun around. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" What? completely by accident, and somehow I won this surfing competition. I was like,
There you go.
and there's only 4 people in it, but
Okay.
still
Now
counts.
3 didn't make it out.
No.
Well, they died from the pollution in the sea.
Now I don't do surfing.
Okay.
I'm a board. I like snowboarding
Mhm.
because you can get someone to take you to the top and you ski down. Whereas surfing, you've got to do all of this paddling and water in your head and But I suppose it's worth it for the ride, is it?
Yeah, and I've got a bit of a sick obsession of just getting absolutely minced in the waves too.
Really?
Like, I love it. I love just getting beaten down by a wave. I love
Good.
It's
Interesting.
it's the feeling of, it's very much a rush, in that you have to kind of feel like you let go of control and you're completely motionless and the waves are just tumbling you around.
Okay.
But then you know it's going to end, but then you come back up. And so I think in terms of that fear that a lot of people have around like size of waves and so on and so forth, don't get me wrong, like I'm not out the back at Jaws going surfing, but I don't really have that relative to maybe the average person when they go swimming. So I love body surfing big waves and getting minced on the beach.
Are you surfing here in Bali? Or?
Yeah, the plan is to. Yeah. Not quite sure how long I'll stay.
Uluwatu, maybe? Is that the area?
Like ease of just going out checking.
Okay. It's a little dirty, I think, in Canggu.
Yeah, I got very
sick
last time I was here. So.
Yeah. So if you go, I know quite a lot of people go all the way out to Uluwatu, but it's a long way to go. So I don't know whether that's in your time. I don't know what you're here for, but if you do go up there, obviously there's. I know you said you want to take a couple of days off golf, but there's obviously Bali National up there, which I'm a member of. It's a lovely golf course. Off the black tees, it's challenging because you get no roll on the ball.
Yeah.
So like the first tee is 500 yards, par 4 uphill.
Yeah.
No roll. So you got to carry the ball 300, and you got to hit a long 200-yard uphill. This plays like 220 probably with no roll. So you got to cream 2 shots on the road to get on the ball off the base.
Have you played a whole 18 holes without losing a ball there yet?
I've never played a whole 18 holes not anywhere. Not even on crazy golf. Not even on crazy golf, mate.
If you were playing strict rules,
Yeah.
do you think you've ever finished a legit 18 holes?
Yeah, definitely. Because I played in a few competitions.
Okay.
So I actually won the Australia Day here in Bali 3 years ago. That was my greatest golf moment because it was about 100 Aussies, 1 Brit, me, and I played amazing golf. I just was hot. I'd been getting better and I came really hot. It was about 3 years ago. It was my first month or so in Bali. I shot 4 birdies and an eagle on competition rules.
Yeah.
And one with, I think it was 1 under. I shot 1 under that day. And since then it's been steadily downhill in that moment. But I've got the Australia Day
Prime medals, or so you sandbagging.
Well, we have that sandbagging competition. I try to play bad as I can beforehand to get my handicap up, but then I play really bad anyway.
You just in the habit of playing bad golf.
Yeah. What about work-life balance and like love life and aspirations for future? What's next?
Yeah, it's been something that I had to make a conscious decision that I would make the sacrifice when I decided to move away from my home, which is in Perth, and do the travel for the last 2 years. I was in a long-term relationship till I was about 28 and then have been 29. So I've been single for the last 3.5, 4 years. And it's been necessary to devote the time and energy into building the business to what I've done. And I know that a big part of that's been the travel. And a big part of my motivation for all of what I do is just to have a sick life as well. Like, do amazing experiences. A lot of things that I've done in golf now, I would have undoubtedly never gotten to that level within playing to have those experiences. Going and be at Pebble Beach, go to the Waste Management Open behind the ropes, meeting superstars across the board in all these different industries, getting fit by Bryson DeChambeau's fitter at Cobra, having the influence that I do within the industry. So it's incredibly satisfying to be able to travel around, and obviously
each time you're traveling, is it for a specific shot? So you go 1 week, you're going to London, so for instance, you were there. Was that because you had something planned with an influencer there, or what was you just picking that area, or what was how do you manage that schedule?
It's been ad hoc in me trying to figure out where is the best spot for me to be around the world to have opportunities presented to myself. And I don't really know. Like, I had a feeling it was going to be America, and it is America, predominantly California and Florida are the 2 kind of hotspots for golf there. But outside of that, I also just wanted to mix in going to London, and you just meet amazing people. Dubai is a great spot for it. And it's really, at the end of the day,
How did you get that gig in Dubai?
Playing the pro am?
Yeah.
Through Darren King, because I know Darren from playing through one of our other mates, Mac Boucher, the guy that does all the shot shaping, the big slingers on Instagram. So it's all through networking and relationships, and how all the opportunities have come through.
You definitely can't do that with a girlfriend. You'd be absolutely screwed trying to do it with a girlfriend. So forget it. Just wait until you settle. But what I found is, obviously I lived in China for 12 years. And once I'd moved out there, I could never really imagine going back to UK, because I prefer the kind of the expat-y kind of people. They're much more exciting, then do more things. You know, they won't just stay at home boy. You know, saying where you come from all the time is, you don't really expand your culture and your mindset, stuff like that.
On life, yeah.
Big perspective change. But one thing I always felt like is, I felt like a nomad. Like my mum calls me a gypsy, because you know, when are you going to get home that you actually live in? So it is difficult. You do want to settle sometimes, and sometimes you want to have things in your house and whatever. And you know, obviously I have this villa here and I've got a place in Dubai or whatever, but I wouldn't necessarily call either of them like that's where I live. That's where I am, because I'm bouncing between the two, and I'm always, so it's a bit frustrating, certainly.
Would you move back to London?
I don't think so. I don't really like the direction of the Western world, or where it's going. I think that, you know, I think decadence, which comes from freedom, too much freedom, is basically how society starts to collapse, because people forget the reason why they have the ability to have so much decadence, because their lives are so good, but because their lives are always so good, they forget the contrast between difficulty of getting to having that good life and why they've got the sacrifices they've had to make to get that good life. Certainly being in Bali or China and seeing some very underprivileged people, and I see people in London or America complaining that they're poor and stuff like that. I just want to slap them. I'm like, guys, you have no idea what poor is. You know, you're living in an advanced economy. You have a government, very big safety net. There is plenty of work. If you just get your shit together, you can go get a job anywhere. There is absolutely no excuse for you to not to be able to exist for yourself. But people don't get it, because humans, unfortunately, they're just lazy fuckers. You know, we don't do anything unless we need to do it. So I like to have some discipline in my life to try and, you know, rein me in a little bit, because I'm able to do most of the things I want to do. But if everything is good all the time, nothing's good for me. So certain things I enjoy doing, like for instance, my discipline with not drinking, that makes me feel like I'm atoning for my other sins, because, you know, I'm not having so much so good time as I should. Yeah, I've got a lot of tins to say, you know, the walk of shame. Yeah, shame. That's me. Yeah. And then the ice bath is really good, because that's difficult to do. So you get that real nice release of expensive dopamine, they call it, or the guy, that Dr. Huberman or whatever his name is, who watch him podcast. And that makes me feel like I'm doing the difficult stuff for the rewarding things at the end. Whereas the opposite of that is the decadence, where you're just getting all the rewards, but you're not doing actually any of the hard work to get the rewards, and therefore these rewards become less and less meaningful.
Well, going back to the surfing, right? Yeah. As I like the struggle and the paddle and having to get absolutely rinsed on the wave, because it just makes, when you do catch one, so much more gratifying. And I think the same thing in ice baths and working out is that sense of achievement for doing something that you know is challenging and a lot of people aren't willing to do.
Can I get a jet ski to pull me out there and I'm just going up? Have you tried those hydrofoil boards?
No.
The electric, they've got a couple here. I'm really thinking about trying it. They look amazing, because you just like really get the floating, like flying through. It's not the ones you have to jump up and down on.
No?
They're electric. So you've got
electric.
Yeah. You just fly.
Very definitely.
Crazy. So what's next? Got any new things coming up in your business, or where's the next destination you travel to?
So I got back for 5.5 months on the road. Went up to Australia, see my parents, actually over in New Zealand, and then came back, was there for a week. I've come here for probably a week and a bit, I would say.
Yeah.
And then in January, go back to Dubai and then to America. I signed on as the world performance coach for Cobra Golf and Puma Golf. So I do all their coaching content now across the world.
Do you have to use a Cobra driver now?
Yeah. I always use that. It's always good. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I tried one once. I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't, because I'd heard a lot of people say good things about it. No, I couldn't try. So maybe I'll have another go.
Yeah.
I chucked a Cobra Drive.
I'm sure.
The 3-wood. I chucked.
Probably why it didn't work.
I never found it again. I lost it. It was brand new. Never found it. I couldn't find it in the long reads. Terrible. How many golf balls you lost this round? Well, I lost 12 golf balls and 1 golf club.
And 1 golf club, yeah. Good finish. Good finish. That's why you stopped after 9 in the last...
No, I never stopped.
Challenge.
I always get I finished. I just didn't play for those next 7 holes. I just stopped playing. I was like, I'm not playing, but I finished the last. I still finished competition. You ever give up?
So then after the US, then I'll come back to Australia, and then I'll really kind of decide if I'm going to stay in Australia and get another rental or buy a place and figure out what to do there. It's just been very important to these last couple.
So America's where you want to settle, is it, you think?
No, in Australia.
Oh, in Australia.
There's no chance I'm living.
Why is it you don't like Rust? The same similar things I said.
Yeah. It's the consumerism, the pretentiousness of the place in a lot of areas, not just specifically in golf.
Yeah.
I just find it frustrating. It's probably the word to say.
Might be because you're an Aussie. That's one of the big things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love
the girls are hot though, aren't they? Yeah.
And again, there's the Asian girls and
the Asian ones. There's some Asians in Australia though. Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I need to come back. I'm gonna have to come and check some. My dad loves going there. He's got a lot of friends and family there.
Yeah.
So he's going out there all the time. But for me, it's just so far to go.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the nearest route from Miami back to Australia and my home in February when I flew back was 32 hours. It was the quickest route. That's crucial. Yeah.
Well, let's do a quick fire round to tie this up. Let's do it. Favorite course you've ever played off?
Spyglass Hill.
Spyglass Hill.
Yeah.
When did you shoot?
Right next.
Wasn't a legit round.
Most of the golf I play,
just enjoying it, just loving it.
Yeah, most of the golf I play now is just for fun. If I hit in the trees, I'll just hit another one and drop a ball.
Sounds like me. I don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
One golfing tip every amateur should know.
Learn how to hit the ground in the right spot, and that will give you an idea of where you should focus when you're hitting a ball.
Ball first, ground second.
Correct.
Most common mistake you've seen in beginners. We touched on that a little bit. It's the setup, right?
Yeah, disregarding the small stuff that actually makes a big difference, like how to hold the club.
And who would be in your dream foursome?
So I'm definitely going to say my nana, right? Because she's pretty much the one that introduced me into golf. I would say Tiger Woods. And then I got asked this same question probably about 3 or 4 years ago on another podcast. And I was just on the spot. And I was like, God, who would it be? And he's blurted out this name. And then it was very unexpected.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I said it. But then in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, that would be pretty cool. And it was Denzel Washington.
Oh, nice.
I just think he would just be a ripping bloke to go out and chat to. And
right now, the only thing I can think of for Denzel Washington is the meme I've got on my phone, which says, it's that scene where he goes, Ma, and he says the N-word. I'm like, God, I can't think of that shit program. Amazing. One rule in golf, if you could change, what would it be?
A definitive shot clock for every single person and the time it takes to get between the ball.
How long should it be? Like that?
I think for the world of golf, 18 holes it should be changed to 14, right? 14 holes. And I think golf should be played under 3 hours. And it just takes too long. And that's part of the reason that I don't really enjoy playing rounds outside of like 9 holes with friends or real competitive stuff I do. But if just to go tee up and play 18 holes in a public golf course on the weekend, just...
See, there are those speed golf stuff where you got to hit it and you got to run. I've seen a few of those. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Like proper, like legging it around the golf course.
Until you get to the group in front, you got to wait.
Yeah, you need the whole golf course, don't you?
Correct.
That's good. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, it was really enjoyable having you on.
Thanks.
Learned a lot of insights about golf, and I'm going to try and apply those ideas to my own swing, as we're going to do later on.
Learn how to hold it correctly when you throw it.
Yeah, and you can't beat me on the throwing. I'm number one throwing. But yeah, it's been really great having you on. Thank you for coming on to Lockstock FM. And guys, make sure you check out his links down below. I'll put a link to your website and your Instagram and your Perform Golf app.
Yeah.
And awesome.
I'm going to smash some balls.
Yeah, we're going to smash some balls, do the ice bath, and then we're going to hit Shishi tonight.
Yeah.
And be pumping.
Love it.
Until next time, guys.